Okay, so I'm doing the last page of the Father's Day album, and I'm going to start by adhering my photo mat. And just a reminder, all the photo mats in this album are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, so they fit a 3 by 4 photo. And I'm just going to take some of the border stickers from the Bo Bunny Timepiece collection and layer them together for an embellishment. And I'm actually layering this rickrack border sticker over this scalloped border sticker. And I'm accenting the scalloped border sticker with some faux stitching with my white gel pen, and I use the Uniball Signo Broad for this. And now I'm just going to mark where the photo mat is covered by this die cut, and where the photo mat isn't covered by the die cut. And I'm going to put foam tape on the part of the die cut that's off the mat, and red line or score tape on the part of the die cut that's on the mat, and that way it'll lay flat since the photo mat is up on dimensional adhesive. And I'm leaving the score tape on there. It's not going to be removed until after the photo is down. Next, I just threaded some buttons with a piece of string and glued them to the layout, and then I'm sticking foam tape under the button that's on top of the die cut just to hold it down. And moving on to the next page, putting down another die cut from the collection and another photo mat. And now I'm going to accent it with 2 hearts, a larger heart, which I'm going to lay flush to the page, and a slightly smaller heart, which I'm going to put up on foam tape and have accented with some tiny staples. And now I'm stamping a definition stamp from an Art Warehouse stamp set I have. I think it's called Life Defined. And this is the definition for memory. And I'm stamping it on the same cardstock, the manila cardstock, and then cutting it out and cutting it down into little squares to arrange on the page around the hearts. And I'm also inking the edges in the same archival coffee ink that I used to do the stamping. And I'm just adhering them with score tape. And then they covered up the clock that I had put down, and I wanted it to have a feel of memory and things remembered. So I cut out another clock from the paper in the collection, and now I'm just covering it with diamond glaze. I set it aside to dry, and now that it's dry, I'm adhering it to the page in the corner there so that I could get that time back. And now I'm moving on to the last envelope in the book, and I'm using this Flourish corner stamp from the Bo Bunny Timepiece collection stamps to stamp the 4 corners of the envelope. And I'm using this chain stamp from an Inkadinkado chandelier set to attach them to each other with chain. And I'm just masking off the Flourish corner there so I can stamp the chain again and connect all 4 stamps together. And then last, I'm going to stamp again from the same stamp set, the clock. And now I'm just taking some markers and coloring in the flourishes. And I'm just using similar reds and browns to the reds and browns in the paper collection to give it a colorful flourish. And now I'm going to take another die cut from the collection, and I'm inking the edges in the archival coffee ink that I've been using throughout the album and gluing it down to the page. And it's going to partially cover the clock, and that's fine. People know it's a clock. And then I'm also gluing down another one of those flat back keys from the Life's Journey collection. And flipping it over to the back, and I'm going to punch a scalloped edge in a scrap of Bo Bunny paper. And I'm just cutting little thin pieces of pattern paper to layer some together. And I've inked them, and I've put adhesive on the back. And now I'm just kind of, you know, layering them, trying different lengths, seeing how they look best. And they're just like these are just little scraps from the collection. And I've got a stripe, a red solid, and a tan on tan polka dot that I gave a scalloped edge with the Fiskars threading water punch. And I'm just going to start layering them on top of each other. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just remove the adhesive from the one and stick it to the other. And then I'm going to remove the adhesive from the little red strip and stick it down. And then once it looks exactly the way I want it to look, I'm going to adhere it right to the envelope. And the reason I'm not using my ATG throughout this project is just because I was out. That's why I've been using all these different adhesives that you don't normally see me using. So before I glue down that family photo die cut, I'm just going to punch a notebook paper edge border punch from EK Success on a piece of Scenic Group grid paper, which I'm going to stamp with a Remember This stamp that came from the same Art Warehouse stamp set that all the definitions came from. And then I'm going to ink the edges of this with the archival ink in the coffee color. And then I'm going to peel up those little borders that I just glued down because I want this to be layered underneath them. So I'm just going to stick it underneath. And then I'm going to glue them back down with a liquid glue once that's down. And then I'm going to use foam adhesive to glue down the family die cut from the collection. And I'm going to now work on the tags that go inside of this. And I'm putting the one and only vertical photo mat in the album down now. And I'm adding letter stickers from the Bo Bunny Timepiece collection and the word hero. And they're going to be below the photo. And I'm also taking a Sakura micron pen, and I'm doodling the word our, so it will be our hero. And then the pen was just a little too thin for the look I wanted, so I went over it a couple times after I glued it down, or drew it down. And then I'm taking a white gel pen and faux stitching around all the letters just to give them a little bit of highlighting and to lighten up the page a little bit. And then I'm going to flip it over to the other side, and I'm inking the edges of this photo mat in the coffee color ink, and then I've stamped and inked and cut out another definition. This one is for photographs. And I'm putting 2 pieces of score tape on the back of each of these. One I'll remove and glue to the tag, and one I'll leave with the backing on, and that will be the part that hangs over the photo mat. And then once the photo is down, that can be removed. So it'll stick flat. And so that's going to go in the envelope, and then the envelope was looking just like it needed just one more little thing, so I got these opaline halfback pearls from Basic Gray, and I'm just going to add 3 of them going up the side of that loose leaf paper, and that finishes off this page.